I'm Joe Rapari, and this is Tab, the Truth Always Boomer. Now it's the Whistleblower Scandal. When will this shit ever end? Well, let's pull the tab on that and see what happens. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Now we have the Whistleblower Scandal. President Trump calls the Ukrainian president, and all hell breaks loose. Congress even wants the transcripts of that call. Who knows why? Maybe it's because of the bogus story in the Washington Post, you think? Why don't we just let Congress have all the transcripts of the president's calls to foreign leaders? Yeah, what's wrong with that? Well, this all prompted me to start a new segment that I'm calling Fake News and Bashing the President. It will be a regular feature on Casual Fridays from now on. But this is segment one, and we'll start with it right here. Before I get started, I just wanted to bring up this fact that not only do the Young Turks have these two dishonest, lying assholes on their staff, Nit and Wit, they also have these three, Chuck, Kel, and she gives great head. Yep, the Chuckleheads. So, just wanted to bring that out, and now for the first installment of Fake News and Bashing the President. Now we have the Whistleblower Scandal, where it's alleged the president had a conversation with the Ukrainian president, and, there was a quid pro quo. You do this for me, and I'll do that for you, which was investigate Joe Biden for some suspicious goings-on between his son and a gas company in the Ukraine. And we have Joe Biden admitting to this, on a video. So we'll get to that later on. But, now they're saying that the president did this and the president did that, and the president offered the Ukrainian this if they would do this for him. And that's what we have. And the Washington Post reports Trump's interaction with the foreign leader included a promise, that was regarded as so troubling that it prompted an official in the U.S. intelligence community to file a former whistleblower complaint with the Inspector General for the intelligence community. Said the former official, speaking on the condition, of course, anonymity, because they were not authorized to discuss the matter publicly. Then, like I said, all hell broke loose.
Rudy Giuliani went on Cuomo Primetime in order to respond to some of the accusations against Donald Trump. There's a big story involving a whistleblower who filed a formal complaint about a phone conversation that Trump allegedly had with a foreign leader. And in that conversation, he allegedly made a troubling promise to a foreign leader. The Washington Post later updated the story, and it indicated that on multiple occasions, Donald Trump allegedly pressured the Ukrainian government to dig up some dirt on Joe Biden's son, who was on the board of a gas company in the country.
There is now breaking news on that urgent complaint about President Trump. It involves Ukraine. This comes from the Washington Post. You might remember House Democrats have been examining whether the president and his attorney, Rudy Giuliani, sought to manipulate the Ukrainian government into helping the Trump re-election campaign.
I am an idiot.
We happen to have the man in the middle tonight, the president's counselor, former mayor Rudy Giuliani. Good to have you on the show.
I'm glad I'm on tonight because what you just said is totally erroneous.
The liberal media was off and running, but wait, look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's the facts. Let's read, shall we? The Washington Post reports no quid pro quo offered during phone call. The latest smoking gun Democrats have been clinging to in search of that ever-elusive Trump impeachment may have just imploded after the Washington Post quietly reported on Friday evening that a July 25th phone call between President Trump and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky did not contain an explicit quid pro quo if Ukraine launched an investigation into former Vice President Joe Biden's son as initially reported. Then, across the Rainbow Bridge of Asgard, where the booming heavens roar, you'll behold in breathless wonder the facts. And now we have this from the Pacific Pundit. Fake news, no quid pro quo during Trump-Ukraine phone call. So yesterday, the Washington Post spread a fake news story about Trump pressuring the Ukrainian president to investigate the corrupt Hunter Biden in exchange for a promise. That, by definition, is a quid pro quo, and that, like most of the crap peddled by the Washington Post and the Democrat media complex, turned out to be fake news. Hunter Biden should be investigated, as should his corrupt father, for threatening to withhold money unless the Ukraine caved to go easy on his kid. Then there's this from Real Clear Politics, September 22nd. Representative Devin Nunes, the top Republican on the House Intelligence Committee, told FNC's Maria Bartolona on Sunday Morning Futures that the emerging scandal about his son's business relationships in Ukraine is likely the end of Joe Biden's presidential campaign. Nunes also said that a whistleblower's allegations that President Trump inappropriately asked for information about Biden during a July 25th phone call with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has all the hallmarks of the Russian hoax. What else does he say? This has all the hallmarks of the Russian hoax. Nunes said about the accusation about Trump's phone call. Something leaks out, and then it's the same reporters that report on it, the same reporters that reported on the Russian hoax. Then you move forward, and what happens? Then supposedly they come and testify, and the night before they testify, the whistleblower, who supposedly doesn't want anybody to know who this person is or what information they have, well, it's spilled all over the pages of the Washington Post the day before Congress was briefed on the matter. And finally this from Ashy's show from the Daily Wire, September 21st. Yep, looks like that big anti-Trump whistleblower story was all smoke and mirrors. The whistleblower didn't have direct knowledge of the communications an official briefed on the matter told CNN. Instead, the whistleblower's concerns came in part from learning information that was not obtained during the course of their work, and those details have played a role in the administration's determination that the complaint didn't fit the reporting requirements under the intelligence whistleblower law, the official said. Well, how do you like that? Fake news. And of course, they just want to forget about this.
I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko. They would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
You see how sick all this is? This isn't a President Trump story. It's a Joe Biden, Hunter Biden scandal story. But these lying, dishonest, unprincipled assholes in the media, they want no part of that story. None whatsoever. There's Joe Biden on tape, bragging about getting a prosecutor who was investigating his son Hunter, along with other things, fired. You can try spinning that any way you want, but that's the real story. Not the fact that the president called the Ukrainian president and wanted to talk to him. The liberals want no part of that real story. So what do you call people who know the real facts, but to promote their own agenda, knowingly lie, spin, and misrepresent those facts? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I call them liars, dishonest, and unprincipled assholes. They have no defense. They are not good people. Period. Well, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. It would be greatly appreciated. That's it for now. More news later. Take care, and as always, be safe.